This is Cash, excerpt 1. The frightened rabbit runs fastest. Mui had heard her father Foch say that hundreds of times. It was a saying he used a lot when they hunted. It illustrated the point that if your prey knows you are there, then you have already failed in the pursuit. You must be a shadow amongst the leaves, a breeze amongst the grass, indecipherable, silent, and immensely deadly. Earlier that morning, when her father Foch had tackled Morosh and given Mui a chance to escape, she already had heard her father's voice in her head. Run, Mui, hide, lie in waiting, be the breeze. She knew that they were making for Copper Den and the Fennel Creek. Father had already been leading Morosh there, and even with Mui escaped, it would do no good for Morosh to force Foch into a diversion. Morosh was ignorant. He would count on Mui making for Tononka and help, which would take the better part of 4 days on foot and likely kill a 15-year-old girl in the process. He would never assume it was a feint, a chance for Foch and Scoot to have a snake in the grass. So she had made for the Riddle Ford, which at this time of year would be the only place her father could guide Morosh to a crossing point of the Fennel and eventually Copper Den. It was the perfect place for an ambush, and her father, and her younger brother all knew it, even without speaking of it. She wished now someone was with her. Mother, father, where? Hell, even Scoot. In fact, mostly Scoot. At the current predicament, he was 11 and not the strongest Shishuk in Tononka, but he was far more clever than even most of the Shishui elders. He was light and fast and silent, but mostly he was one of the most skilled trappers in their village. He had spent 2 full winters and springs away from the family in Putosh with an elder Shui named Kuruk, learning to track and trap and be a young man of the land. When he had come back last summer, he was different. He was lean, he was angular, and his eyes burned this fierce color of blue that only the loneliness of isolation and experience lend to a young man. He would know what to do at the Fennel to slow Morosh and likely kill him in his tracks. But he was with father, and now Mui must rely on the few tricks he had offered her on their last 2 fahuks they had made alone without their parents. She would be deadly enough. Her anger would temper her lack of skill. And at the current moment, her anger burned now like slow cinder in a fire.